Hello class, this is Mr. Lindenberg from the Hastings Veterinary Clinic, comforting my wife as we proceed with moving Peekaboo to the afterlife. But that's not going to stop me from helping you with your on-demand essay writing skills, part 2. Notice how the skills is spelled with a Z. That means it's super hip. Duh. Let's first review the process that we talked about on Wednesday and Thursday. First, the 1 to 2 sentence response to the prompt becomes your thesis statement. Then, decide if you want to organize your essay by tackling the beginning, middle, and end of the literary work, or talking about important event 1, 2, and 3. Finally, compose topic sentences that develop your thesis statement. Let's take a look at an example. This question prompt was examine a character's complexity. The thesis statement reads, in Water for Elephants, Jacob faces many tragedies where his character is questioned, but in everyday life, Jacob proves to be a trustworthy and a hard-working person. If we can see, this thesis statement is separated out into 3 parts that decide where my essay has to go. The first part is the Jacob faces many tragedies where his character is questioned. So that's what I'm going to be talking about all over the place in my essay. Then my first topic sentence must deal with Jacob proving to be a trustworthy character, because that is what is mentioned first in your thesis. The second part of the thesis is a trustworthy and a hardworking person, so my second topic sentence would be about how Jacob is a hardworking person. Let's take a look at these topic sentences. In the beginning of the book, Jacob shows his trustworthiness by keeping Mañana's secret about who she killed. If we evaluate this topic sentence, we notice that it addresses a tragedy where his character is questioned, keeping Mañana's secret, and then it starts off by talking about how Jacob is a trustworthy person, by mentioning the trustworthiness. So the important words from the thesis are used in the topic sentence. It follows the order as dictated by the thesis. We're rolling. We're doing great. Topic sentence 2. Later in the book, after kissing Mañana, Jacob doesn't want to face his work, but he knows he must to keep his job. Again, the tragedy where his character is questioned is Jacob not wanting to go to work, but he proves to be a hard-working person because he goes to work knowing that he must keep his job. So this is an example of a great thesis statement followed by 2 topic sentences that do a nice job of developing that thesis statement. Also notice that in the thesis statement and topic sentence, the author used our complicated sentence writing skills in order to craft complicated sentences. So to review things to notice, thesis is specific and makes an argument. The topic sentence utilizes the complicated sentence structure to make a complicated point, and the order of the sentences is determined by the thesis. Now, we're going to move on to some more complicated prompts. What we talked about on Wednesday or Thursday, those are fine prompts and those are great things to look for, but oftentimes you're going to be presented with a prompt that is more challenging to comprehend and kind of sneakily presents a structure for the essay to you that you need to find. It's almost like finding a diamond in the rough. Aladdin joke. Alright, so let's take a look at this complicated prompt. Works of literature often depict acts of betrayal. Friends and even family may betray a protagonist. Main characters may likewise be guilty of treachery or may betray their own values. Select a play that includes such acts of betrayal. Then, in a well-written essay, analyze the nature of betrayal and show how it contributes to the meaning of the work as a whole. So if we're going to break down this essay or this prompt, we're going to notice 3 parts. The first part is a discussion, and the second part is the beginning of the essay. The third part is the end of the essay. So the parts are identified by color. The discussion is in red. The discussion is pretty much the prompt just kind of overviewing an idea for you. Kind of wetting your whistle, if you will. Getting you ready to go. Letting you stretch out before competing. Letting you make sure that you look pretty before you go out on a date. So here we go. The works of literature are talking about acts of betrayal. So the red part is the prompt overviewing what betrayal means. Then the prompt moves on to subtly suggest what you need to talk about in your essay. down here. In a well-written essay, you need to analyze the nature of the betrayal and then show how it contributes to the meaning of the work as a whole. So your essay is going to be broken up into two parts. Part 1, analyzing the nature of the betrayal, and Part 2, showing how that betrayal contributes to the meaning of the work as a whole. It's important that you address both sets of ideas in your essay so that you can get full credit. An example outline for this essay would be a thesis where I state what the betrayal was and how it contributed to the meaning of the work as a whole. So I would probably need a complicated sentence for that. Then I'd have my first topic sentence in which I would analyze the betrayal. So my topic sentence would be about analyzing the betrayal, what caused it, and what were its consequences. It's important not to just say so-and-so betrayed so-and-so. You need to get down to the why did they betray him? What were the consequences? My second topic sentence would be about how that betrayal contributed to the meaning of the work as a whole. Okay, so let's try to separate this part into an overview, part 1, and part 2. I'm going to read this prompt out loud, and then you're supposed to press pause on the video and as a table decide what part of this prompt is the overview, what part of this prompt is the first part of the essay, and what part of this prompt is the second part of the essay. Here we go. One of the strongest human drives seems to be a desire for power. Write an essay in which you discuss how a character in a novel or drama struggles to free himself or herself from the power of others or seeks to gain power over others. Be sure to demonstrate in your essay how the author uses this power struggle to enhance the meaning of the work. So now, press pause, and then as a group, mark on the paper that the sub is about to hand out to you what part of this prompt is the overview, what part of this prompt addresses the first part of your essay, and what part of this prompt addresses the second part of the essay. So press pause and work for a little bit. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Oh, you're here. Glad to see you back. Well, let's see how you did. On to the answer. Brrr. Here's what it should be. One of the strongest human drives seems to be the desire for power. That's the overview of the issue. Part 1 of your essay would be about discussing how a character in a novel or drama struggles to free himself or herself from the power of others or seeks to gain power over others. So that's what your first part of the essay is going to be about. It's important that when you're discussing that you're analyzing it and not just summarizing the plot. The second part of your essay would be about how the author uses this power struggle to enhance the meaning of the work as a whole. So you'll notice these last two prompts both make sure you address how this topic relates to the meaning of the work as a whole. What you're going to do for the rest of class is compose a topic sentence outline for the prompt on the back of the sheet handed out on Wednesday and Thursday. Third hour, the sub will hand the sheets back out to you now. Fourth hour, you should pull them out of your folders and get to work. If you don't have the sheet, the sub has copies ready to hand out to you at a moment's notice. First, on the back of the sheet, break apart the prompt into the discussion, part 1, and part 2. Then, compose a thesis. Finally, compose topic sentences that address that thesis. And of course, hand it in at the end of class. If you finish that early and there's room in the red lab or the black lab, get a pass from the sub and one at a time go and finalize editing your video. If you don't have a video to edit because it's already done or you're doing your work at home, you can bust out your book or your Kindle and read. I'll be seeing you on Monday or later today if you want to stop by. Thanks for hanging out with me for a while, and keep it real.